Hi, thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to dive right on into our overall collective consciousness and see what the universe has to tell us today. So we are going to actually start with getting our overall theme for the day. We are going to use the Enchanted Map Oracles by Colette Baron Reid. So what is our overall energies that we need to know about today? Our overall energies. The Gentle Gardener. So with the Gentle Gardener, it's about taking care of yourself, taking care of your ideas and nurturing them, nurturing yourself. In the picture here, you have 4 eggs. You have a couple eggs that are just hatching. And to me, that's about nurturing an idea and letting it grow. So starting with something innocent and truly yours and having it prosper, having it hatch. And really embracing your own ideas and giving them credibility, allowing them to be as they are, allowing them to love them as they are, and then allowing them to grow, without anything, without worry or doubt, and to allow them to take form as they possibly could. It's just about self-love, about connecting to yourself, about your, to me, the eggs also kind of represent like a, cycle, the start, the finish, the start, the middle, the finish of life, of every detail that goes on within your life. So with every scenario, you have a start, you have a middle, and you have an end. And so with the eggs, it's like that fresh beginning. So like you're at that beginning stages, and you need to nurture yourself, nurture the idea, the passion that you're having, and to really take hold of it. And not to mind the fact that, it's not just one idea and one passion, it's multiple ideas and multiple passions. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to dive into the Banksy Tarot. This is made by Cupido. I think that's how you say it. Anyways, it's using Banksy's artwork in a tarot deck. It's a little different. I like to read intuitively and not necessarily the real. I like to use the symbolism that the designer had put into the cards. But I really like these because you have to be really in tune intuitively to be able to read them, because they're not the standard, iconography that you see on a tarot deck, like the Rider-Waite tarot deck. I do have a standard deck here that we will use to clarify if we need to clarify. Let's see what our overall energy is for today. We'll start with an overall energy card for love, and then we'll do a card for money, and then we will do, or career, either way, and then we'll do an overall, just generic card. I might do 2 cards. I've decided. All right, so let's see, what is the overall love message for a general collective for anybody that's watching? Yes, it's 3 cards. Okay, so the first card that we have is the Empress. And in this picture, you can see that it is a woman. I'm assuming it's a woman based upon um, the ponytail. Um, but um, but I don't like to make assumptions on that. So, but it's Empress, so Empress is supposed to be feminine, so you have feminine energy, and then it's nurturing a baby, um, so feeding a baby and such. Um, the next card that we have is this Five of Spray Cans, which is equivalent really to like the Five of Swords um, if you know anything about the regular Rider-Waite. And on this card here, it says, draw the raised bridges. And it's a kid sitting on top of some graffiti with a makeshift helmet and a sword and a shield. And then the next one we have is the Six of Buckets, which is equivalent to the Six of Cups. And it's a silhouette of a person, and they're blowing bubbles, and the bubbles are hearts. So what I'm getting from this here is that we have the Empress, and she's nurturing. She's nurturing this baby. Um, she's loving. She is caring. Um, so with this, in regards to love, it's like finding your nurturing side, finding your inner feminine energy, and nurturing the inner child within. So not necessarily a physical child. I mean, um, you could have children, and you could be spending the day caring them and loving them. But to me, when I look at this, it's more of an inner child because they reflect each other with the masks that they're wearing or the head helmets that they're wearing. I don't even know what it's considered. I guess a regular helmet. But they're mirroring each other. And with that, to me, it's like you have to really look at what's going on inside. And with the next card, with it being the Five of Buckets, um, and not Five of Buckets, Five of Spray Cans, which is just like the Five of Swords. You also have the child that's on that. So it's like inner fighting, inner commotion. Um, the swords are about mental, it's intellectual, um, it's about talking about your inner thoughts. And so with the child on here, the child's ready to fight, and then there's all this graffiti. So there's all this like chaos and confusion and negative talking, I guess, or even it's the Five of Swords. It's more of like negative talking, self-talk. And here's this child trying to defend you, but it has all this negative talking that's coming up, all this negative commotion going on. So today, though, it's not about like a romantic partnership. It's more about taking the time to nurture yourself and to get rid of some of these negative thoughts and get rid of thinking down upon your situation of what's going on, and really really take the time to listen to your intuition, listen to your gut, and really see where the problems lie within you. We all have inner child work to do. No one's perfect. Everybody has issues in the past that they have to deal with. We all have, you know, we've all been scarred and traumatized by our parents and by our ancestors, and we're all really trying to make up their karma in our lifetimes, and we're trying to learn from the lessons of today and of the past have a better future. So um, we really need to do a lot of this inner work and to try to step away from that negative talk and that negative inner fighting and really harness that inner child. Um, and that's also where the next card, the Six of Buckets, comes in. And so the Six of Buckets is the Six of Cups traditionally. And looks like there's a. So with this, you kind of see like a little lion here. Um, kind of like the Lion King and at the beginning, where he's still a baby, and it looks like an innocent child blowing bubbles, and with that goes back to your self innocence, that self child. The Six of Cups is it's about nostalgia. It's about looking within um, and reconnecting with that inner child, as well as reconnecting in general with somebody and with um, someone from the past, and that could be the case. You could be reconnecting with a childhood friend or just someone from your past to help resolve some of these issues. Maybe you need to reach out to somebody they haven't talked to in a while, and maybe they'll reach out to you, and you can take some time to heal some of these negative issues that you've had, and be able to work past it. So a lot of inner work today. Um, take some time, even if your schedule is busy. Take 10 minutes, 15 minutes if you have it, or if you're like I would say like most people here, you'd be stuck in traffic. But thanks to the quarantine, I don't think anyone's really stuck in traffic these days. So if you're at home, take a quick break from work. If your kids are running around, you know, take 2 minutes and say, hey, or not 2 minutes, 5 minutes and say, hey, I need my time, and go outside, out to your yard, take your shoes off, put your feet in the dirt or in the grass, or find your favorite chair and just sit down, and you can put earbuds in and you can listen to some nice calming music, um, and really reflect on you, on how you are feeling, not intellectually and not through thoughts that are coming through your head, but really connect with yourself, and with that you will start to really rediscover who you are and what you enjoy. And so um, once you once you start to reconnect, you can start to see where some of these issues lie within you. You can start reflecting upon some of the current issues you've had, and really see where does that stem. Where can you go to help fix that, and where can you move forward from there. So, anyways, that's beautiful for today. Definitely something that we all definitely need. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull a card from. Let's get these over because it kind of got out of shot here. The Universe Has Your Back by Gabrielle Bernstein. Um, and this is just going to give us just kind of like a quick affirmation or a quick message from the universe about this love, and we'll see what it has to say. So, what do our viewers need to know? Need to hear today? Joy is the ultimate creator. Joy is the ultimate creator. So, with that as being said, Joy is the ultimate creator. So if you raise your vibration, raise your thoughts to a higher frequency, which really means to get yourself, out of these negative thinking, these negative moments, and really start to observe what you're thinking and realizing that you are not your thoughts. Um, you have thoughts that come into your head, but you don't have to prescribe to them. You can easily say, thank you for the thought, and just move on. You can say, as Kyle C says, you can say, and I love that, and then carry on. You acknowledge that thought, and say, okay, I hear you, but that's not me. And then move on. Because joy is at a higher frequency, it allows those more positive things to come into your life effortlessly. So if you're constantly if you're constantly battling with all these negative thoughts, you're going to attract all this negative stuff. So if you've ever sat there and really worried about something and then that negative thing happened, that's because you're constantly in that negative state. And so then you're not open to anything positive coming in. So with joy and with being grateful and happy, you'll bring more positive things to you more effortlessly. And yeah, sometimes these negative things come in and out, but um, we just acknowledge them, say thank you for this lesson, and we learn from that moment, and then we move on. And so it's a beautiful message for today. Very, very beautiful. So that's our love message for today. So I'm going to go ahead and put these back, and then we'll go ahead and we will pull 3 more for career. What does our general collective need to know about their career today? What do they need to know about their money? What do they need to know about prospects for work? What do they need to know about their situation? So we got the 7 of buckets, which is just like the 7 of cups. Pull more. 4 of cups. And the 10 of buckets, which is the 10 of cups. A lot of buckets. A lot of emotion going on. Okay. So the first one that I would talk about is the 7 of buckets. And so the 7 of buckets is just like the 7 of cups. With it, it's about options. And in this card, you see somebody in a hood sitting, and they have 2 choices. Either they can go up for love or down for money. And so you have that choice. You have options and choices. Do you want to find something that is passionate, that you feel passionate about, something that will make your heart soar, something that you enjoy doing, or are you just looking for the money? Are you looking for the next job that will provide endless bounty and endless security and such? And as we all know, with COVID, there really isn't any job security. The only thing that we really can do is look for those positions or create those positions and do with what we love. Um, and that's just a kind of with the last reading that I was just saying about love, is that you have higher and lower frequency. And so when you start thinking about the the money aspect here, and the money is lower than the love, and that's because money is geared more towards the ego mindset, and it's about materialistic and the ego and um, like I said, this false sense of security and stability and consumerism and such. And it gets you into this endless cycle. And if you look at where we're at now, we have a lot of individuals that don't have jobs. And I don't personally have a job outside of, creating art now and doing tarot readings. And I just started doing tarot readings today. So um, it's about finding ways out of this mindset of this um, consumerism and trying to really reconnect with who we are and going towards something that we love and going towards something that we can be ecstatic to do every day and wake up and you're passionate about it and something that really truly aligns to you. And so with when you come to that joy level and that upper level of happiness and contentment and passion, that's in a higher level. That makes you feel good. It makes you want to do more. It makes you want to be able to help people out. It makes you want to be able to, not only provide for yourself and your family or, your loved ones or your pets or just yourself. Um, it's not a matter of knowing that what you do will make a difference because you're bringing that love not only to yourself but to others in your actions and what you do. Because when you're in true alignment with yourself, you're bringing it and you're sharing your vibration with everybody around you, and it has a huge impact. Um, so with the Four of Cups, this shows a little girl, and then over here you see a little teeny heart balloon. And I think a lot of people have seen this. And the girl has wind blowing, and the balloon is like flying away and such. And um, she's very alone. She's very by herself. And with this, the balloon's flying away. So we might be feeling like with career and with money is that we might lose this opportunity. That our little inner child that is looking for happiness and excitement and joy. And when you're kids, you dreamt of doing something. I've spent countless hours thinking, well, what did I dream of doing? What was my true intention as a child? And honestly, I can't remember. I mean, I can remember when I was back in high school, the things that I was interested in, and a lot of that had to do with art and anthropology and social anthropology and zoology and um, being able um, to really just have a good time and to be independent. But I'm an Aquarius, and we're kind of flighty, not flighty, but our likes and passions kind of change a bit, rather frequently, I should say. So this to me is like ourselves trying to get back to our roots of who we truly are, who our inner child wants us to be, and if we don't align with that inner child anymore, is saying that's okay. Giving that inner child a hug and saying, what, it's okay that I don't have the same passions as I used to have, but I'm open to receiving new passions, and it's okay to let those old passions go and to find something new. And that these passions, I keep hearing or I've heard, in my past that you don't want to let the idea go by. You don't want to um, lose out on something. But the thing is that that's not really how the world works. If you do lose out, if the idea comes to you and then you don't act upon it, yeah, you personally might lose out on that moment, but that doesn't mean that the universe isn't putting together more opportunities to come to you that does align with you. I do think that when we have these creative ideas, that we should go ahead and embrace it as much as we can, so that we can, follow our true intuition and follow our true self. Um, and then that moves over here to the Ten of Buckets, which again is a Cups. Um, and the Ten of Buckets, or Ten of Cups, it is actually, traditionally you'll see it with all these cups around, and it's just happiness and joy and emotions overwhelming. In this card, though, it's a lot different. This one here is obviously a heart with a whole bunch of band-aids put all over it, and to me, it's representing that you've been through a lot. It's been tough. Your heart's been broken. You've been beaten up, and that's been out again. But you know what? You're still whole. You're still there, and you might have all these bruises and such, but you will heal. You will get through this trauma, and you will survive. And what I love about this is that all three of these have hearts in them, and that this one here, the first one, the heart is hollow. There's nothing in the heart. It's a glimpse of the outline. And then in this one, the heart is filled in. It's still two-dimensional. It's still flat. But it's progressively filling in. And then this one, it's obviously it's a drawing of a three-dimensional heart. And so it's like you're going from nothing in your passions towards what you're doing, and you're growing and you're expanding and you're healing. So knowing that you do have this choice, between, do I really want to do something for love, or do I really want to do something in my career that just makes me more money? And to being able to realize in yourself that your passion will never go away. It might change what type of passion it is, but it will still keep you truly aligned with what you're supposed to do if you follow your emotions, if you follow, your inner child, and understanding of what you should be doing, and not thinking about those negative thoughts and such. And then moving on to this one, to the Ten of Cups, or Ten of Buckets, and knowing that, that you are being blessed, and that you will get through this, and that your heart will heal, and that your ultimate joy and fulfillment is there. It's there if you follow your heart. It's there if you follow your passions and your joy, and you bring that to other people, and you raise your vibration within what you're doing. And if you don't want to venture into something new, which I'm not saying everybody should, because there are people out there that truly love what they do, and that's perfectly fine. Stay with what you do, as long as it aligns with who you are, and know that yes, there is heartbreak out there, emotionally heartbreak, and that even because we're talking about careers here and money and such, and that but this trauma that we're all feeling, it will be resolved. Just keep up the passion, keep up the higher vibration, and your fulfillment will come. You will have that completion, that higher cycle. And so we're gonna pull here one of the universe. So what does the universe have to say? A message in regards to career for the general. That fits. So the card says, instead of praying for an outcome, I pray for the highest good for all. So that completely fits. So instead of, like we were saying, instead of going after the self, the ego and just the money, and praying that, we're going to work past this issue. Um, you're thinking about the negative things. You're thinking about, man, I'm stuck in this negative situation. I'm stuck, I don't have a job, or, my hours are decreasing. And so you're staying in that negative cycle, and instead, we should be thinking about something higher. We should be thinking about like everybody and thinking about, um, the highest good, for all. Like, think about those passions and about how can I, be true to myself and raise my vibration up and be able to go for what truly makes me me, and sharing that with the world and sharing that with my community, or even just sharing that with your loved ones. It doesn't have to be, thinking of like everybody, across the whole wide world, but if you can, might as well, right? So when you're taking a few minutes, in your day to really think about what you want to do and your passions, send out love through your heart for everybody. You start out small, and you know, think about sending out love to your family, sending out love to your friends, sending out love to your neighbors, to your community around you, to your city, to your state, to your country, to the world. And the more higher vibration that we can get, the higher our levels as a whole, we're going to be able to heal past this trauma and to be able to, um, get our societies back up and running properly. Um, so it's a very beautiful message, and I think that fits really, really well. All right, we're going to go ahead and move over to doing um, just a general non-love, non-career, just yeah, just a general reading. Let me see if I can wake up my computer here. Make sure we're good still. Okay. All right. So any general messages for the collective that is not love or career related. General messages. General messages. Any general messages for okay, so the first card we got was the Hierophant. Second card again is the Seven of Buckets. Okay, so then we got the Four of Brushes, which is the Four of Wands. And then we have the Nine of Brushes, which is the Nine of Wands. So just a second here. I think it's really interesting that the Hierophant in this one, obviously, if you can show it closer, as the picture of, I would assume, would be the Pope, and then on top of, superposed on top of like Marilyn Monroe's legs and the skirt going. So with the Hierophant, we're talking about traditions, we're talking about establishments, institutions, larger, you know, um, body of governments and that sort. And And with this, though, to me, it's about the higher religions, or the higher religion, excuse me, I don't know where that came out. Religious factors meeting consumerism and such, and um, I don't want to take this. I don't want anyone to kind of be offended, but just thinking about the commercialization of the higher religious institutions, um, and really deciding, you know, is it about religion or is it about consumerism? Um, and and I mean this consumerism as more of like a product than a product of like entertainment. Marilyn Monroe and being seductive. So like thinking of like institutions, something that's very formal, very traditional, um, and and then something that is very kind of scandalous in essence. Um, so with this, with the Hierophant, I'm just thinking, I just keep calling back to consumerism. Consumerism, something big in tradition. So it could be, within our societies, we've been raised with this idea of how our life should be, right? The house with the white picket fence, the 2.5 kids, a lovely marriage. Ideology that was like based in the 50s that was really crappy during the 50s, and or 40s. It's just, and to me, it's like, that's because tradition and establishment wanted to kind of encapsulate you into this consumer mentality. Like you have to go through the traditions. It has to be traditional. You can't do anything atypical. You can't go by this. You have to go by the social norms, or else you'd be an outcast, or you would you can't rock the boat. But then it goes into the Seven of Cups, and if you watch the career segment, the Seven of Cups, um, and this one here, actually Seven of Buckets, um, it's the Seven of Cups is like you have multiple options. You have so many options. You're overwhelmed, right? And the options here is consumerism versus love and passion. So to me, it's like consumerism, social norms, traditional values, options. Do you want to be in that lower vibration and that lower energy level, or do you want to find that passion and follow your heart and follow the love? And where I'm coming with that is that we have this card here, and this is the Four of Wands, or the Four Brushes. And as you can see, it has a family in the foreground here picnicking, and then you have a couple individuals here that are looking on, and three individuals. There's a little kid here. Anyway, so it again, the Four of Wands traditionally is like family celebrations, traditions, happiness, coming together with your family and such. And this time frame is really about that. It's about really re-examining who we used to be with this commercialization and who we want to be. We want to spend time with our family and to be there and to have this love, with family, um, and to be able to get away from the rat race and the consumerism of this idealized family, and to actually embrace it and to be that family again, and to take the time to really enjoy who we are. It's like keep going through thinking that these three individuals in the back here, that they're kind of just like they're kind of like zombies. They're coming in and they look tired. They look exhausted. They don't know what to do, and then they're transitioning into being, happy and being taking a break and taking that pause and spend the time with those that you love. And that's what a lot of us are facing these days, especially with us being out of work and with us not being able to go out and get fulfilled by consumerism because we don't have those stores to go to. We don't have those amusement parks or the mall or um, the the movies or the consumer products and such. So we're we're at home, we're with our families, and so a lot of people are mass consuming things like Netflix, Hulu, Prime, um, and not embracing this wonderful opportunity that we have, and that's by having the time with your friends and family and your loved ones, and yeah, social distancing and such, but um, I don't know anybody that's at home with their family and they're wearing masks around their family and they're not loving their family, period. So, spend that time with your family. Spend that quality time with them, and um, dust off those old board games, or even watch a movie, but watching a movie together. Not in different rooms. You know, um, Making home cooked meals and from scratch, or taking the time to teach your kids how to make meals. Um, and then the last one that we have here is the nine of brushes, and as you can see, it's Buddha, and or supposed to be Buddha, and Buddha's bruised and bandaged, and having a hard time there. And so with that, it's like the nine of wands. Um, is about being exhausted. It's about being um, beat up and not being able to um, not being able to, but it's more like you're just tired and you got to move on because you've just taken so much beating. So get out of your mind and enjoy your family, enjoy this time, find the passion again, and stop worrying about you know how are you going to afford um, all these necessities that you once loved, necessities that you once loved. Um, those aren't necessities; those are wants, and your family doesn't need to have a whole bunch of wants. You know, you need that love and that connection, and you need that feeling, um, that you get within yourself of being able to do that without having to fork out a ton of money to do it. It doesn't cost anything to walk to a local park or to get outside your house with your kids and take, chalk and draw on the ground with your kids to spend some quality time with your loved one, cooking a meal or even with yourself. You know, Instead of sitting there and zapping in some microwave, I don't know, burritos or such. Take that time to learn how to make fabulous homemade quesadillas or um, you know finding something that you truly love. Take the time to learn about you again. And so with this, I'm going to move over to then pulling a card. Okay, so what does our universe have to tell us today? One card. What messages does the universe have to tell us? Obstacles are detours in the right direction. It goes with that Buddha being abused there or feeling bad. Um, so, anyways, obstacles are detours in the right direction. Absolutely. So usually when something comes into your life that creates chaos or a bump in the road, you need to readjust. Something's not going right. You're not on your right path. You need to realign. You need to learn from that lesson, and you need to move forward.